Hello and welcome to Thoughts from a TV Geek. My name is Sean Scott.
And I'm Kelly Neal. We're going to be talking about your favorite shows from the summer, now, and into the fall.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back. So we're back. This is Thoughts from a TV Geek. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
So, how was your summer?
My summer was pretty good. Pretty good. Had a few shows that I was really enjoying this summer. What about you?
The same thing here. I did some traveling. Watched a lot of TV shows. And we're going to talk about some of them today. So
That's right.
I'll jump out there with kind of what I did over the summer. Watched a couple of shows, Outcast specifically, on Showtime.
Which I did not see. However, I've been told that I really should.
It's a really, really, really good show. It's brought to you by the genius mind of Robert Kirkman. You might know him from The Walking Dead and Fear of the Walking Dead, which is currently on right now as we speak. So we're going to get down to it. Outcast. I thought Outcast was a fantastic show. I hope that we get a lot more episodes out of Mr. Kirkman in Outcast. Some of the characters, some of the main characters that are in it, Kyle Burns, played by Patrick Fugit, that's it, Patrick Fugit. He was, if you don't remember, he was in Almost Famous, the, I guess, rock movie that was done.
I saw that, yes.
That was really good. That was by not Kirk Hammett, that's the guitarist from Metallica. Completely wrong person. I'll get back to his name in a minute. You know, that guy from that movie?
Exactly.
Cameron Crowe.
Ah, okay.
He played him as a young reporter. Anyway, he's in it. You might recognize Mark Holter, who is played by David Dunham, from The Office. He played the boyfriend who worked downstairs in the stockroom of Pam. Was it Pam?
You know, I'm going to get like totally creamed right now because I've never watched The Office. I know.
Yes, it was Pam. Yes, it was Pam. So, anyway, we'll skip that. Look, it's a great show. You know, you start off a show with a child smashing his head into the wall, crushing a bug, and then licking it off the wall.
Oh.
In the first, there's no spoiler here because it happened over the summer. So, in the first minute or so of the show, and I don't think you can really go wrong from there. I mean, you really have, you can only go up and get better and better from there. I mean, it's a great start. The show is basically a supernatural kind of type genre of good versus evil. And, you know, I've watched the whole first season, and I'm not quite sure where they're going, but I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised by that, by this show. It's a great cast and a great ensemble. If you can catch it on demand or catch it on Hulu or one of the other 15 other things out there that have that may have the show, I would definitely say check it out. If you like supernatural, if you like good versus evil, God versus the devil, whatever you want to call it, this is definitely a great show. It's creepy, it's dark, there's a lot of surprises in it, and if you like creepy crawly, kind of in the middle of the night, this is the show for you, I think.
I'll be checking it out. I definitely will.
You should. You should definitely check it out.
And you need to check out Stranger Things.
Yes, I do. I've heard lots of good things. Please
So did I, and that's why I just recently actually completely binge watched on Stranger Things. And it was really good. It is a binge watch show because you don't want to stop watching it. It stars Winona Ryder. I think everybody knows who Winona Ryder is. And she plays Joyce Byers, and she's a mom and has 2 sons, one of which goes missing. And the fun ensues from then on. It's basically, the general premise is the search for Will, her son. But it turns completely supernatural. It has, you know, secret government stuff going on. And it focuses a lot on the kids, on Will's friends. And there's some really good actors too. The three kids are great. I think they do a super job. In fact, let's see. Finn Wolfhard plays Mike Wheeler. Gatton Matarazzo plays Dustin. And Caleb McLaughlin plays Lucas Sinclair. And they're the three friends. And then there's also a young girl with some supernatural powers. They don't know where she came from, and she goes by 11. That's her name.
That's her name, 11.
11, and she's played by Millie Bobby Brown. I've never seen the kids before, so I don't know what other things. I'd have to look up and see what other things they've been in. But it's just a really good show. It's acted really well, and it holds you. Like, you want to know what's going to happen. What's going to happen. The other cool thing, if you're a tabletop gamer, it's been talked a lot about in the tabletop gaming scene because it actually opens with the kids playing D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and there is like kind of a story plot involving a little bit of the Dungeons and Dragons too. So it's pretty cool that it's become such mainstream, and the show is pretty popular. It was talked about online a lot, and I had friends that watched it, and that's why I had to finally binge watch. So,
you know, if you get recommendations from friends, I mean, they usually spawn on because they generally tend to watch the same type of shows you do.
Sure.
But every now and again, you get that surprise from a friend that you don't think will really get into a particular show, but all of a sudden you get the phone call, you get a text, you get a tweet, whatever the case may be, and, you know, saying, hey, you know, you really need to check this out because it's sick and twisted, or it's just well directed, well acted. You know, it doesn't have to be dark, you know, anything dark. It could be something nice, because there's plenty of good scripts out there that aren't dark. It might be a little harder to find nowadays. It seems like the whole TV genre is drifting a little bit on the dark side, but I think that's some place we haven't explored that much over the years.
Yep.
X-Files explored some, but they were a little bit more sci-fi-y. Sci-fi-y, is that a word? Okay.
They are sci-fi-y.
well, yeah, just not like in the deep psychological sense. A show that I also watched, Preacher, as well as Outcast, have a little bit more psychological kind of play to it. So
absolutely,
which I kind of like a little bit more. I don't mind popcorn movies or television shows, but I want to get involved. I want to get invested.
Sure.
And I want something to hold on to, to keep me enticed for an entire season, because that can be really hard to do sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was really liking Preacher. I really enjoyed that. I'm behind. I have not finished Preacher, but I think I'm on episode 6.
All right, if you're on episode 6, then you got a little ways to go, but you've got there's plenty of good things to come. The lead in it, Dominic Cooper, who plays Jess, is a great actor. He's really pulling off the good guy, bad guy.
Yes.
I'm a preacher, but I'm also a former outlaw, tough guy. I think he had another life and now is trying to fulfill something that his father started.
Exactly.
And you know, he comes around with some strange characters. Josh Gilgun.
Cassidy.
It was a strange name, Gilgun. He plays character Cassidy. I don't understand this. Now, I think he's a great character, but I'm trying to figure out how he fits in this because he appears to be a vampire.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
And that's essentially correct.
But it's.
But it's obviously a different kind of vampire than
your traditional.
You know, your traditional.
Yeah, he does
vampire.
go out in the sun.
Because
not very well, but
not very well.
Well, he goes covered up, but he can look out into the sun.
Yes.
So he goes out. He's out there and working every day.
He doesn't have to sleep all day.
No. Very, very strange. I'm trying to figure out how he fits in.
The first introduction of him was in the plane, right? And that was like, I had no idea who he was or what he was or anything like that. So that was crazy.
Well, the whole opening sequence of it was kind of weird with Tulip driving with. It's just another, I think, just another character in the show. You know, he was there for a brief moment because I think she kills her in the kills her in the beginning, kills him in the beginning.
Yep.
Driving through the cornfield.
Yep.
And then happening upon the church, which they still really haven't talked about, I don't believe, of what that was all about. So I'm hoping comes full circle in the next season of what that was.
Right. And I haven't never read the comics, but it's my understanding that the series is actually before the comics. So these three characters are actually the main characters of the comics.
Okay.
But I guess, and anybody can correct us if we're wrong, but this show right now at least is the prequel. It's the lead up to the comics. Okay. Because by the time the comics come around, the three of them are doing whatever it is they're going to do.
Right, right. Now, what I don't understand is the whole vampire thing. Now, I get, you know, there's a conflict of good and evil, and Jess has this ability, Genesis, I think is what it's called.
Right, that's what they're calling it, yeah.
So, and everybody else is kind of normal. There's no supernatural good guy or bad guy other than, I mean, well, there's the two angels.
Right.
But I get the angels part, but the vampire is just weird. Now, if you said it was a demon, I could buy it and I could go for that because you have angels, and now you have, you know, then you'd have a demon, but he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy in this. He's a good vampire who goes out in the day and loves Tulip. I'm confused by that whole dynamic, and I'm hoping that in the next season they kind of delve a little bit more into Cassidy and kind of how he came about or what his purpose is in this whole thing.
I think that next season, I think they'll be delving into a lot more. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard. I haven't looked up, but I'm thinking that we're going to see a lot more of their backgrounds and more of Cassidy.
So next what we're going to do is we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about some of the shows that we're currently watching right now. What's on your watch list right now?
Right now, is anybody out there watching Battlebots? You watch You don't watch Battlebots? No.
I know what it is, but I'm not watching that.
I loved it when it was on back. It was the early 2000s, maybe early to mid 2000s, and it had aired for a while, and I absolutely positively loved it. And then now they've brought it back. It's on ABC, and it's really cool. It's these guys and gals building these robots, and then they have the robot battles in a ring. You know, it's really, really cool. And then they have
one that has all the plexiglass around it.
And things come out of the floor. You have like 2 minutes before things start coming out of the floor and attacking you and stuff like that. It's been really good, really good. They just had a major upset. The last episode I watched. This one robot that I didn't expect to go as far as it did because it looks flimsy. It's this big thing that has a steel piece that comes down and it kind of hits.
Oh, so it's like,
and it's supposed to hit really hard.
It's kind of like a scorpion tail.
Yes, it's supposed to spike really, really hard, but it also winds up lifting it up and tipping it over sometimes. And to me, it seemed really flimsy. But they beat out the last year's winner.
Who was last year's winner?
Last year's winner was, let's see, the one I'm talking about is Chomp, and they beat Bite Force.
Okay.
So it was pretty amazing. Nobody could believe it. I couldn't believe it. So yeah. So
is that the end? Is that the end of this season, or
there's one more?
Okay.
So Chomp is going to go up against one called Yeti.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's going to be the season finale, which is coming soon.
Is the robot hairy? Because usually Yeti is Bigfoot, right?
No.
I guess. Just a question.
I think Yeti's one with the big. It's got a big spinner.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a really cool show. Really cool show.
So I'm watching, and I'm sure you're watching, I'm sure you're watching too, Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Now, I was unsure last year of how I felt about having another Walking Dead, but something kind of completely different, because they start kind of before everything else actually starts.
No chance for a crossover.
Yeah, that's true. It's two different points in time. But, you know, I kind of wasn't sure where it was going to go. I wasn't feeling it, really, the first season. But I'm kind of into the second season now, and the first episode I thought was a great episode. I love it when they take a character, put them on an island kind of all to their own, and you see the development of the character.
Yes.
I think it was season
4.
5 or 4 of The Walking Dead, where they
You might be right. It might be 5.
where they're going up to Terminus, or they're finding their way there, and they're all
They're all separate. There's
are
like
you
2
sure?
and 2, and
I think it might be 4.
maybe it was 4.
I think it was 4. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're watching this, then
Go Google it.
Yeah. Where they, after the jail, after they got out of the jail that blew up and all that, and the whole thing with the governor ended, and they went on their separate ways. They all went through journeys the whole season of exploring who those characters were, and you kind of got a chance to look into their backstory. Beth and Daryl kind of on their own.
Yep.
In the little hut, reminded Daryl of his upbringing, and Beth got a chance to glimpse into his world. Kind of same thing we see here with Nick, where he's separated from his family. He's out on his own. But what I liked is that they completely separated him from really anybody else throughout almost the whole episode, of just him trying to survive.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know what this gift is that he has or if you want to call it a gift, of being able to walk amongst the dead without any repercussion. I don't know if it's because, he did the same thing. I was going to say Lincoln. Not Lincoln. Rick and Glenn did, where they covered themselves in blood and body parts, and they were able to walk amongst the dead for a little while. When Nick figured that out, 3 or 4 episodes into it, no, not 3, 4, but by the end of the first season.
Right, yeah.
Maybe the last 2 or 3 episodes, he figured out that he could do that and walks amongst them, because, as he put it earlier on in the series, that he has been walking The Walking Dead for years.
Exactly.
Because of the heroin act that he is, or whatever he's on, I believe it's heroin. But because of him being an addict, he's already knew how to walk through this world dead. So for him to go out and just kind of live amongst them and occasionally peel off to do whatever, eat or this or that or whatever, or to look for supplies, this and that, and come back to a herd and still just be able to walk down a highway with them with like no problem.
Just the fact that he was willing and wanted to leave and go on his own. I mean, I couldn't even fathom being in that world, being in that situation, and wanting to leave everybody. There's no phones. There's no way to get back in contact with anybody.
Right.
You know that if you walk away, odds are that's it.
Well,
You're never going to see him again.
As we've seen in the Walking Dead series, they're all about a half mile away from each other. And even on their way to Terminus, they were all about a block or 2 away, because when Daryl lights I don't remember him doing it on purpose, but when the shack that him and Beth were in caught fire.
The fire, yes. Didn't Carol see it?
Carol saw it as they were walking away.
Yeah.
So, in the Walking Dead, in the world of The Walking Dead, they're only about 3 blocks away from one another at any given point in time. So, I got to believe that, just because Nick's in Tijuana doesn't mean that they're
all still in Tijuana.
That's what
Aren't
I'm
they
saying.
at like a Tijuana hotel?
Right, which is on the beach.
Second episode, so they haven't really.
Which is on the beach, so I'm not sure how far away from the beach he is.
Yeah.
But he can't be that far. Although it said Tijuana 100 miles. But God, you know what? I just don't buy that he's 100 miles away. But so I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Him sleeping in the little villa, the little house, and the mother comes walking in with her daughter, and he's trying to explain to her, let me just get my stuff, and she's like, hell no. He cracks him over the head with the bat, and he just takes off, and it's then he's out on his own and doing his thing.
Almost died.
Almost died.
Legitimately, almost died.
So right, and what I keep hearing is that that's kind of his new fix, because he doesn't have his drugs anymore. So his new fix is walking and trying to survive with the dead.
Is that the new adrenaline rush?
It's a hell of adrenaline rush.
But you know what? Come to think of it, aren't drugs, heroin? That's life and death too.
Well, it's true, and there's a deep correlation between the two. As he's walking with the group, and as he's kind of fading out of consciousness, he hears the other walkers, if you will, infected, as they call them on the show. He hears them or hallucinates that they're talking to him. And the hardest part for me was I couldn't understand what they were saying. I turned my TV up and I just could not make out what they were saying. And there I am thinking, I got to hear this. This has got to be something important. Like, did he find some magical key of, being able to understand them? I don't know. I didn't know where they were going with that.
Right.
I realized
right.
that, it was
just that they were talking to him.
Hallucinations, right?
Yep. Yep.
And I'm kind of concerned that Luciana, I think this is how you pronounce her name, left him out there, knowing that they had watched him, knowing that he was out there, he was walking with the dead, and he dropped down to his knees, and she was like, no, it's not him, but you knew in her face that she understood it was him.
My kind of take on that was just simply maybe having doubts about him, like, because they were thinking to bring him back. So maybe at that point, like, maybe she had doubts.
Maybe she had doubts. Maybe she figured, all right, well, you know what, he just died, and now he's going to come back as an infected, and there's no point. He's too far gone.
Sure.
Any thoughts on where Ophelia went, or why she went?
That was weird. That was weird to me, because that's what I was like, well, where did she go? Where would she go? And then when the daughter, Alicia,
yes.
was out, she came out of the shower,
mm-hmm.
and she saw bodies being, I was thinking, is that what Ophelia's doing?
You were thinking what everybody else thought of. Oh my God, that was Ophelia. What the hell? What just happened there?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, and then there was like more and more, and it was just like, I don't know.
Now, even though you're dead, all right, there's no reason in the world that you're falling 8 stories and then getting up and walking away. It just shouldn't happen like that. I was a little bothered by that because it just doesn't make sense. Even if you're dead, you're breaking something, they just pop right back up like nothing was wrong. And why are they falling out that way in the first place?
That was my thing. It's like, what's going on? Suddenly it's raining, walkers.
Yeah, out of the blue.
Why? What is it?
Why'd they choose to go over the railing? That doesn't seem Walker-ish.
Exactly.
It's almost like they were called out there or something.
Well, and so that's why I was kind of thinking, is is Ophelia going room to room?
Pushing them out.
Pushing them out.
Yep. I was thinking that, but then they show across the way.
Fast. Yeah.
Yeah, they show them across the way that the lady in the red dress and a guy. The reason why I was talking about they fell and got up and started walking away was they were all the way across there. Not to say that Ophelia couldn't have gone over there, but you have the body from above, and then you have body from across the way, and then they all stop dropping.
Right.
It's like, all right, well, it's not her doing it. And where'd they come from if they were all kind of locked in their rooms? I'm sure not all of them were, but.
I don't know if you watched Talking Dead, but they showed a scene too, and it looks like, it's going to be a lot of time in the hotel with Alicia getting trapped.
Trying to figure out how to get out of there.
Yeah.
It seems like she's the stronger one, and not that. I hate to make comparisons, but she's kind of maybe the Michonne of this particular group, just to draw that comparison of she kind of feels now she's alone, she doesn't have anybody, I got to get out of here, I got to figure out where Ophelia is, and I got to get back to my family.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm assuming she's going to take measures into her own hands of finding some kind of weapon or, you know, a pipe or something or just whatever to try to get out of there.
We're going to find out basically just how strong she is in dealing with this, because as we saw earlier in the episode, when they got to the hotel and she was making the decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she took a leadership role.
Yeah.
And it should be interesting to see what happens there. Now you have Madison and Strand, who are getting banged up in the ballroom, so to speak, in a little bar, I should say. And, you know, why Strand makes a stupid move of, let's make as much noise as we possibly can. It just doesn't seem to make sense, other than the fact that they kind of assume, all right, we're here, no walkers have come out, you know, we haven't seen anybody, it should be kind of safe, they're getting banged up on tequila. And
Well,
kinda
yeah.
lose track of reality.
I don't think the alcohol doesn't help
No, it does
at
not
all.
help.
And then I think that, you know, you get the like you kind of said, you get this like false comfort of, you know, it's okay, you know, they're all locked up and, you know, we're fine.
And
And not even paying attention to what's going on outside.
right, and you can't, you know, in the world that they are in, you can't let your guard down, and that's
Right.
exactly.
That's
But
what they
they're
did.
learning that lesson now of you
Mhm.
can't let your guard down. I mean, we've seen that happen time and time again on Walking Dead, and you know they're just now learning it for the first time. The guy, and I'm sorry, I don't have the notes right here. The doctor that's in it, who's
Yes.
not actual doctor, but he
Right.
just seems to know a little bit of
It's
medicine.
a pharmacist.
Pharmacist, yes. But he's the only doctor around, so only qualified, if that's what you want to call it. He has this notion of, well, you know, I've been bit, so you guys can be saved, which I'm really curious about because it shouldn't be in that world. Now, Ophelia's father, who we allegedly saw burned in the
Right.
first season,
Right.
in the compound there. He had something. He knew something. Now it wasn't just his training from growing up in bad neighborhoods. He just kind of seemed like he knew kind of what was going on, maybe. So, and this guy, I think, might have the same story. And I mean, we still don't know how they got infected or why they're infected.
Right.
Or what caused it. I mean, I think from Walking Dead, we have a funny feeling that I have a feeling that it was a government kind of thing because they all have this disease, so it's just a
Yeah.
matter of time.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't caught up to that theory yet, and it'll be quite some time before they do, or they'll have their own speculation of what it was. There are some good shows coming down the pike. Westworld is on my list. I remember seeing the movie back in the day, Yul Brynner and a couple other characters. We have a whole new host of people. Anthony Hopkins is in it, Ed Harris is in it, James Marsden, is in it. And you want to give a quick synopsis of it? Do you have it?
Basically, it is based on the 1973 film of the same name, Westworld, written by Michael Crichton. It says it's a dark odyssey about the dawn of artificial consciousness and the future of sin. And it's basically like a futuristic theme park called Westworld.
Okay. Kind of like, what was the movie, AI? Artificial Intelligence, where they were in the future, and they had that, and the guy kind of manufactured his little boy
Yes.
from a robot, and yeah, okay. Kind of based
yeah.
on that theme, but Westworld was out before. Anything else?
Well, then we have The Exorcist, I guess, is going to be a
Yes.
TV show.
Yes, Exorcist based on the movie. It's got the same theme music. It should be creepy. It better be creepy. It really needs to live up to the movie The Exorcist. So,
Big shoes to fill.
big shoes to fill, and I need to be scared. I need to be scared. That needs to be a movie that shocks people. A TV show that shocks people.
Yes.
So it's on Fox, so I'm not really sure how well. If it was HBO or something, then we could really get into something good.
Right. Right.
All right, well, I guess it's the end of the show, unless you got anything else to say. Hey, I'm Sean Scott.
And I'm Kelly Neal. Also check us out on thoughtsfromatvgeek.com.
And we'll see you next time.